certain area, I would say. It was just, at that point in time.
Okay. So your husband just kind of like Googled or look at some online sites and see which one was the most popular one, like
correct.
reviews kind of a thing lah.
Correct. Yeah, literally, that happened.
Sorry, you might have shared this already and I might have missed it out. What led you to decide to supplement baby with formula on day 3?
Because when day 3, that was when I was about to be discharged. There was the final jaundice check at the hospital, right? So at that point in time, from day 2 to day 3, her jaundice level went up quite a lot. So we got a little bit, let's say, worried, and we just wanted to make sure that she has the best possible, health as we go home. So we also asked the hospital. The hospital did offer for phototherapy option, so we took it. And also we said that, since her number was quite high, let's do the phototherapy, and also let's provide the infant milk. Also because I do not know how much did my baby drink from the latching, right? Because at that point in time I was purely latching. I had also difficulty because I had inverted nipples, so it was, I do not know whether she had enough, whether the baby had enough during the whole duration, because sometimes they can latch for very long, but actually not drinking a lot. So, and it was proven by her jaundice level, right? So her jaundice number wasn't doing so great. So all the reason kind of led us to think, okay, let's not take any more risk. We do not want her to stay in the hospital for too long as well. So let's do whatever we can to make sure the jaundice kind of go down or in that trajectory. So we decided to just went ahead with it together with the phototherapy the final day.
So who was the one who broached the possibility of supplementing with formula? Was it the pediatrician, nurse, or
I think it was myself.
Okay.
I think it was myself, because we know about jaundice and also the danger of jaundice in general, right? So we cannot have had that discussion before I delivered, obviously. But because we do not know, how it will be like, whether she will have or she doesn't have. So it was just a passing discussion that we had before. But so we were aware that if, let's say, she has jaundice and if the number is quite bad, so it can be quite dangerous. So I think maybe it was from that perspective that we just want to make sure she is healthy and okay. So we immediately actually consider that. For me, actually, I think giving formula milk it wasn't such a difficult decision, so to say. Because I my baseline is I want her to be fed as much as possible. That's my baseline personally. So in giving infant formula wasn't actually a difficult decision. But the decision to stop latching was more difficult, because that has a more emotional impact to me, because I feel like you have that kind of feeling as a mother, kind of feeling a little bit, especially at that point in time. So it was already in the mind, I think, having the possibility of doing formula milk at some point in time.
So just to pick up from what you mentioned earlier, in your opinion, what do you think led you to feel like not latching was something that what led to you feeling like not latching is kind of like not like guilt lah, over it,
I think it's all about the perception of pregnancy and being a mother in general. Because if I think about it, anywhere on TV or on in any print or media, right? When we talk about being a mother, most of the time you see a picture of a mother, let's say, breastfeeding, or as an icon, or that is just something being talked about most often. I barely see an icon of a mother giving a bottle to the baby, right? I mean, that's usually not the icon in anywhere in the media. So I think maybe it's just somewhat imprinted in my mind that this is what it should be. And it is the basic expectation for you as a new mother to do so. So that's why when I discover that it is actually not that easy to do so, it kind of maybe shatter the illusion a little bit, right? Like, hey, I can always try to make latching work. I can always push myself to make latching work. But it was just too emotionally exhausting and physically exhausting as well. So that's why, that combined with maybe hormones and combined with this expectation in my mind that is not met. So it gives some sort of a huge guilt feeling. And of course, during the days where I do latch her, I do feel, like a motherly feel that, hey, this is such a nice experience to have. And I'm glad that I had at least have that experience for about a month or so. So losing that or now seeing that other caregiver is actually providing the bottled breast milk to the baby kind of feel like I'm not doing my best as a mother, right? And so it took me a while to sort of get away from that kind of thinking and accept that this is actually maybe better because now I can make sure she drinks enough. And indeed her jaundice level was okay and there was no much complication. And I make sure that I have supply kept up because I keep expressing it religiously, right? So it turned out okay. But I think expectation versus reality, that's what the caused the guilt at the very beginning.
So what are your views or impressions and associations with breastfeeding in general?
Before delivery or after or
now,
right now?
At this point in time, yeah, like when you think of breastfeeding, what do you think of?
So for me now, breastfeeding is about delivering the benefit of the breast milk to the baby, and it is now independent from how it is being given, either by a syringe or a feeding cup or a bottle or directly from the breast. I think it becomes disassociated from that. And also I think breastfeeding maybe not so much strictly from the mother, it could actually also be shared by other caregiver, especially during the period now where mothers are always working or have to work because of financial situation. So the benefit of breast milk may be given by the caregiver in the infant care or your other people in the house, helpers, and so on. So it becomes sort of more disassociated from mother and baby, but it's more of just the whole breast milk benefit to the baby itself and how it can benefit them in the long run.
So like in your what are some of the benefits that you see that the breast milk gives to the child?
So obviously from what I can see is from their digestive. I see it, or at least in my perception, it feels like it is digested easily, but more easily by my baby, because there are days that I may need to give more formula milk due to whatever reason, and the day afterwards I can sense or feel like it was more difficult for the baby to pass motion. So I felt like okay, maybe when I do give more breast milk, it was somewhat more smoother and less of a challenge for the baby. So that's at least what is visible to me. The other aspect, of course, is what is I perceive, for example, more antibodies, lesser chance, more protection to the baby. And now I hear about the possible benefits of COVID vaccine going to the baby, and that's obviously something I'm glad to hear. So all of